Even though I'm an eagle, I can't really say I hate ravens. Eagles, what do you think? Should we hate them? In fact, I think eagles should admire ravens because a raven, as the only bird, that's bold enough to attack it. Just like that, people will try you. You know what I'm saying? Now, this raven jumps on the back of the eagle and begins to poke it. But guess what? The eagle just rises in altitude and the raven just falls off. Now, can you imagine if that eagle screams like, get off me, get off me, get off me? Or if that eagle says to other animals, oh, please help. Look, raven's on me. Oh, hello, beautiful people. My name is Alula, and welcome to Awaken the Ego. God damn, 470 videos for Awaken the Ego without any guest appearances. Can you guys crown this man the best out here? I would. Thank you. Now, guys, for 471, the topic is why and how. No, I should say it the other way. How and why you shouldn't get triggered by racism or anything else. Now, for the whole last week and also this week, I've been led to talk about this subject. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the spirits want me to talk about, whatever God wants me to talk about, guys, I'm going to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Now, reaction or being triggered by something or someone or whatever somebody says or does, guys, that says a lot about you more than the other person. You know what I'm saying? A long time ago, I used to be triggered by words, but nowadays, guys, these words just bounce off me. In fact, once you know how to play psychological game, you begin to enjoy the game. Can you do you see, like, for example, like, have you ever noticed how some people are so comfortable with being racist? It's like they're playing a psychological game, or, like, especially in like workplaces or places like that. You know what I mean? Now, once you begin to learn the game, also, you're just gonna be like that guy, but in the opposite way. You'll begin to disarm. Yeah, I said it right the first time. You begin to disarm people who triggered you just a moment ago. Especially when it comes to this issue of racism, guys. Seriously speaking. You know what I'm saying? Now, not being triggered does not mean you should not take action. Being not triggered does not mean, guys, you should not put those people in their places. Just like an ego, you do it. You get, yeah. All right, first, guys, I'm going to speak on how not to get triggered by racism. This video is directed to all peoples around the world. Yeah. Now, how do you not get triggered by racism? First one, guys, is knowledge of self. Yeah. Now, when you have a knowledge of self, you know who you are. Anybody can impose any kind of identity on you, but guess what? It will not stick. And guess what? You will not get triggered. Why? Because you know who you are. It's only when you don't know who you are, you get triggered by outside events. Guys, knowledge of self will save your life. You know what I'm saying? Now, the second one, guys, the biggest one is trauma. This is a big one, really. You know what I'm saying? Every time you're triggered by racism, we're just using this as an example, but it could be many other. Anytime you get triggered by someone, guys, understand that triggering comes from undealt trauma. You see what I'm saying? If somebody criticizes you, you see what I mean? If you have a trauma, that triggers it. Oh my God, even my mama said that. That must be true. But if you face the trauma, guys, then your nervous system is so well regulated. This thing of nervous system really is something that everybody ought to learn about, really. Actually, when I first heard it, I could not think of a most boring word than nervous system. I thought, what? You know what I mean? But guys, nervous system is the way it's also connected to the way you respond to situations. Now, something can happen. You know what I mean? Two people have two different reactions. Now, depending on how your nervous system is regulated. Now, if you have trauma in your life, guys, your nervous system is so sensitive. Anything anybody says, you know what I'm saying, will trigger you. That's why it's important to do spiritual work, guys. All right, let's get down to the most important points. And that is why you should not get triggered by racism. Guys, understand this. Every time you get triggered by racism, you just give them more ammunition to hit you with. Now, this applies to all the relationships that you have. In fact, when people want to get close to you guys, they begin to ask you personal questions. You notice? That's why nowadays, guys, the best policy for me just to remain silent. You know what I'm saying? Even in your marriage. Say, for example, your wife finds out or your husband finds out that there is something they do that really triggers you. That they've got ammunition to use it against you later on, whenever it is convenient for them. And the reason number two is that this reaction would lead to for you to be used and abused. Man, this like 2020 actually should be a blueprint for any politicians that wants to become a politician in America. The George Floyd situation is a situation that was used to trigger people to have votes to remove Trump out of the office. And that's exactly what happened. Has the killing stopped? No. Is the triggering still going on? Yes. Do you see what I'm saying? What if we were not triggered that way as a people when that happened, but still make them face justice, but calmly and collectively, just like eagles? Yeah. Then those politicians will not be using us to do whatever it is that they want to do or they get elected. This lady Hillary Clinton people, they full on had a blueprint on how to deal with these protests. There was a leaked paper that came out and said, oh yeah, when they say this, respond like this. But most importantly, respond with the words like, we hear you. Oh, wait. Do you see that? Now, let's get down to the third point. Why you shouldn't not get triggered by racism, guys? Let me tell you something. When you're not triggered, then you can take decisive action. Most importantly, if you want to pursue it any further than you need to, then you got evidence to back yourself up. And this mostly, guys, requires silence. See, every time somebody disrespects you, say something inappropriate to you, especially in like professional places, guys, just remain quiet. You know what I'm saying? Now, why are you remaining quiet? Are you remaining quiet because you're weak? No. You are remaining quiet because you're waiting for the time to take decisive action calmly, without being triggered, without saying a word. Now, let me close this video with this story that has happened to me a long time ago and how I put this racist man in his place. You know what I'm saying? Now, this guy, as soon as I met him, he showed me that he was racist. Okay, I didn't say anything. You have a right to be. You know, but he began to make a comment here and there. One of these days, he made one of these offensive comments. Guess what? I remained silent though. But there was somebody else there that heard it. Okay. But I didn't say anything. You know what I'm saying? And then a couple of months later, he said something else that was offensive in front of people. Oh, wait, that was my opportunity right there. Yeah, no. As soon as I said that, I did not get triggered. I just looked at him and said, hey, what gave you the right to say that? And he was just silent. And then the management was standing right there. And I said, you heard what he said now. But a couple months ago, he also said this in front of that person. And that person is right there. You can ask him right now. And guess what? The races began to shake. Guess what? The races got fired right there on the spot. What if I was triggered with what he said the first time? Then I would have given him time to prepare. Chargers, Eagles, move, and silence and violence. Yeah.